Konnichiwa, ni hao, hola, guten tag, aloha, buongiorno, namaste, zuzvutria, shalom, bonjour, and what's up? I'm Zen, and welcome to the Spiraken Manga News Podcast, bringing you the eyes on the manga news for the week of Tuesday, June 24th to Wednesday, June 30th, 2021. Remember to like, subscribe, and check out our manga review podcast at www.spiraken.com. And also, if you like what we do, you can support us at our Patreon at patreon.com/Spiraken. So let's get to the news for today. And we've got some interesting fun ones. Now, first off, some tragic news. It was announced that new manga series Isekai Tensisha Goroshi Cheat Slayer, or Killing the Reincarnated People into the Other World, Cheat Slayer, has been canceled after one chapter. Now, the story depicted a protagonist who cast judgment on the people who reincarnated into another world and indulge in cheat skills. It followed a villager named Lute who respects and wants to join the guild Rebel Against God, which is comprised of people who reincarnate into the world and who fight against the Demon Lord's army. The story begins when one of the people Lute admires, Lewis Crawford, appears and does something truly horrific. Now, note, most of the members of the Rebel Against God guild were designed to look like characters from other Isekai series. Now, because of that, this caused some travesty seeing these beloved characters doing something truly reprehensible. Kadokawa's monthly Dragon Age magazine editors apologized for the issues with the manga and apologized to the creators of such works and said they will pay more attention to prevent similar issues in the future. It's kind of a shame because this seemed like a really cool premise, but I guess that they have spoken. They did some things to some of these characters that were kind of horrific, so yeah. Next bit of news, this is in the movie world. Horror mangaka Junji Ito has illustrated a synopsis manga of Robert Eggers' 2019 film The Lighthouse to commemorate the film's release in Japan this year, in July 9th. Now, the manga will be included in the theatrical pamphlets that will be sold at the screenings of this film, and they actually look really cool. He wanted to capture a unique spin of the world, and since it is a black and white film, he emphasized on the dark shading, and it looks amazing. I would love to get a copy of this, and if anyone in Japan who goes sees this wants to send me one, you can send it to me. Just email me, zan@spiraken.com, and we'll talk. Next bit of news is Manga App news, and officially it has been launched. Yes, we're talking about Kira Media Inc.'s new digital manga service, Azuki, which was released on June 28th on iOS, Android, and all web browsers in English worldwide except for Japan. I'm really excited to see how people like this service. I actually checked it out. It looks cool. But the reason why we're talking about it is that they have added the following manga from Kaiten Books to their service. You have Uza-Maid, Our Maid is Way Too Annoying, Gotcha Girls Core, The Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting, and My Dad's the Queen of All VTubers. I'm excited, and I really do like this service. It's clean, it's well done, and I'm definitely going to be paying the $4.99 for this because more manga equals more reviews. Am I right? So now that that's done, let's get to some licensing news. And we've got a lot today because it is the end of the month. Now, first off, we have Kodansha Comics. Now, they've licensed several new manga titles that are going to be debuting digitally in July on Tuesdays. As usual, they usually do it, that's consecutive days of the week. But we have several interesting titles, starting off with Type Moon and Rei Wataru's Fate Grand Order Epic of Remnants Pseudo Singularity 3, The Stages of Carnage. Simosa 7 Duels of Swordmasters. Yes, and this is talking about Rika, a master from China, suddenly loses consciousness and finds herself whisked away to Simosa Providence in Edo-era Japan. It soon becomes clear she's not in her own timeline, and neither is her companion, a woman called Miyamoto Musashi. Together, they must defeat the 7 heroic spirit swordmasters, a group of fearsome cursed warriors who will stop at nothing until everything on the planet is dead. Next, we have Noko Tofu's Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister. This is the story of Mihiro Oyama, who's just a normal erotic game-loving dude until he wakes up one morning as a woman. Turns out his mad scientist little sister Mihari tried out one of her new experiments on him with a disastrous outcome. As far as Mihiro's concerned, but Mihiro is determined to study him as he is determined to go back to his shut-in game-loving life, and one thing's for sure, life is going to be a whole lot weirder from here on out. Seems kind of cool, a little different. You have Mika Yamamori's In the Clear Moonlight Dusk. Yoi Takaguchi has long legs, a deep voice, and a handsome face. In other words, Yoi is such a good-looking guy that most people don't notice or care that she is, in fact, a girl. Indeed, she has the nickname Prince for as long as she can remember. That is, until she meets Ichimura-senpai, the only person who really seems to see her for herself. To her surprise, she's not sure how to handle this new relationship, especially when her newfound friend is a prince himself, and a guy prince at that. The story of the two high school princes starts here. Then we have Rakana's My Darling Next Door. Ruruka thinks she might be missing out. After all, what high school girl isn't obsessed with romance? But when a young, handsome salary man moves in next door, she realizes she may just be able to understand the appeal of crushes after all. This one seems kind of fun. A little different. Then we have Kane Saito saving sweets for after hours. Now, Reika has it all. She's a model, tall, cool beauty with a high-powered job at a sweets company. But it's precisely because of that she's never had a boyfriend. Men find her too unapproachable or beg her to be their mistress, in the S&M sort of way. But when she meets a new young co-worker, Hasegawa-kun, she happens to find out that they have more in common than just their job, including secrets. A little bit sexy, a little bit weird, could be good, and probably talks about a lot of fetishes. Not sure, though. And finally from Kodansha, we have Sohachi Hagimoto and Reiji Morita's That's My Atypical Girl. Yoko is a manga artist who spends his nights delivering newspapers just to make rent, since his original work just doesn't seem to sell. Suddenly, one day he gets a visit from Saito-san, a self-proclaimed fan of Yoko's work, who makes the long journey to meet him. Yokoi quickly discovers that the things Saito-san sees, feels, and thinks about are different from most people. These two struggle together to find a place to belong in this unique slice of life. Kind of cool, kind of different, and a little weird, and it's focusing on adults, which I'm enjoying. Kodansha has some great releases. They're all coming out, though, in the same month, which isn't that bad, but also it's one a month. Anyway, now the long one. Seven Seas Entertainment has licensed 13 new manga series, an essay novel, and 2 light novel series. So there's a lot. So starting from the top, we have Suniko Sumiya's 5 Seconds Before a Witch Falls in Love, or Maho ga koi sure go byo mai. Solitary witch Meg likes to be mischievous and make trouble in the forest for her nemesis Lilith the Witch Hunter, but when an altercation goes sideways and Meg turns Lilith into a cat, a cascade of unfortunate events means Witch is now responsible for saving Witch Hunter. Sparks were flying between these antagonistic ladies before. What will their relationship be like after this catastrophe? Haha, funny pun. Meh. Yu Yu Ichino's Classroom of the Elite. Yokoso Jitsuroko Shijo Shingi no Kyoshite-e. Students of the prestigious Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School are given remarkable freedom, if they can win, barter, or save enough points to work their way up the ranks. Ayano Koji Kiyotaka has landed at the bottom in the scorned Class D, where she meets Horikita Suzune, who's determined to rise up the ranks to Class A. Can they beat the school system where cutthroat competition is the name of the game? Who knows? A little bit of a twist on the slice of life high school story. Next we have Yu Hashimoto's 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, or 2.5 Jigen no Yuwaku. I have no interest in real girls, so claims Akamura, the president of the school's manga club. He's your typical otaku, obsessed with a sexy fictional 2D manga character known as Lilial. Then the new year starts, and a real 3D girl named Lilisa, whose passion is cosplay, joins the club. Lilisa convinces Okamura to become her photographer, and guess who her favorite manga character is? Not only that, but Lilisa is into modeling the fetishy stuff. The boundaries between 2D and 3D starts to blur in this hot-blooded romantic comedy that unfolds. This one seems interesting in a way where it's going to actually change things up, so that one is going to be definitely one to check out. Next we have Okoshu and Mekmi's The Girl in the Arcade, or Gesen no Kanojo. A Japanese high schooler gets a part-time gig in an arcade where he's pretty much ignored by everyone. People even start calling him an NPC because of the way he blends into the background. All that changes when the gorgeous, larger-than-life Yagashi Nanomura barges into the place and demands his help learning the ins and outs of the arcade's trickiest games. It isn't long before she suggests they start going out, beginning a summer full of arcade fun and simmering sexual tension. Next after that is Wataru Motogawa's Gunburst Sisters, the manga, or Gunburst X Sisters. In a decaying Gothic city, warrior nun Dorothy is tasked with hunting down and slaughtering supernatural creatures. A member of the elite Crimson Sisters, she seeks to rid the city of the vampire population that plagues it. One fateful night, she encounters a wounded woman, Maria, only to discover that she has fangs and a strange parentage. Dorothy offers the half-vampire her best and only chance of survival, become my pet. Together, Dorothy and Maria will dive into the secret of the heart of the vampire scourge that threatens to overtake their home. Yuri fans will rejoice in that series. Also, that is going to be released by Ghost Ship Print, so it's going to be very, very erotic. After that, we have Metamayaki's The Haunted Bookstore, Gateway to a Parallel Universe, or Wagaya wa Kukurio no Kashihonye-san, Arakashi no Jo to Harariya no Shonen. Ever since she was 3 years old, Kaori has lived in a bookstore where the boundaries between the mortal realm and the spirit realm are blurred. Her adopted father, who lives with her in this magical space, is a spirit himself. One day, Kaori comes across a bleeding young man who has stumbled into the bleeding realm just as she did when she was a small child. Though the young man is an exorcist who has vowed revenge against all spirits, Kaori decides to embrace kindness and help him find his way back home. I'm pretty sure that came out as a manga from another company. I'm not sure, though, but I'm excited that 7 seasons is this. Anyway, next one. Yayoi Asawa's Hello Melancholic. Asano Minato is a tall but stooping first-year high school student. Though she's an awesome trombone player, she does everything she can to fade into the background. Despite her best efforts, however, Minato catches the attention of her bubbly and charismatic upper-classwoman Hibiki, who wants Minato to join the band she's forming at school and won't take no for an answer. Will Minato be able to let go of the past and play in a band again? Can polar opposites harmonize through music? Slow jam your way into this dulcet Yuri series. This one should be cool as a music series. Not sure, though. We're going to see. Next one is Shino Shimizu's I'm a Wolf but My Boss is a Sheep, or Okami Buka-kun to Hitsuji Jose-san. Wolfman Ogami is a salaryman at a mattress and bedding company whose co-workers are all sheep. Normally, this lone wolf keeps himself, but his job in this new department is both a blessing and a curse. Ogami has a crush on an adorable sheep lady supervisor and appears to be more than a case of mere puppy love. Lots of puns in this one, and the way that the cover depicts the sheep and the werewolf, it's just like he's a guy with wolf ears. That's it. It's not like he's Lugosi from Beastars where he's a wolf. And the sheep girl, she just has curly hair and a little tail. That's it. So, the art I'm not a fan of, but the story seems like it could be fun. Wait and see. Next we have Tenichi and Suzunosuke's The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen from Villainous to Savior, the light novel series. And this tells the story of Pride Royal Ivy, who, when only 8 years old, realized that she'd been reincarnated, destined to become the future Wicked Queen and final boss of an Otome game. She's got it all in this new life: razor-sharp wit, boss-tier powers, and influence over the kingdom as crown princess. Determined to sow despair and destruction across the land, wait, what kind of rotten future is that? Princess Pride decides to drop the maniacal villainous plan and protect the male love interest instead, cheating her way to saving everyone she can. Will this final boss end up earning the adoration of her kingdom? Who knows? A twist on the I'm a villainous. Instead of it being about her being, like, just kind of evil, this is like she's super evil boss. So, I don't know. Next we have Anizuke Ano's The Muscle Girl Next Door, or Tonari no Kiniki Jose. College student Daria isn't a big guy. He's thin and kind of scrawny, and he's a little self-conscious about it, but when he bumps into Ruby-san, a totally cut lady who can haul massive logs around, he thinks she's the epitome of macho coolness. And it's more than just admiration or even envy. He's immediately smitten by her. Watch slight Daria chase after the buff and sexy Ruby in this charming modern love story. It's a nice twist on that, where the girl is the masculine one and the guy is more effeminate. And honestly, it feels a little refreshing for this one. The art looks great, and I think Amizuke Ano is a good mangaka, so let's see how this one goes. Now, for all of you Bacarina fans, we have the Yuri manga anthology for My Life as a Villainess, the side story Girl Patch, coming out. Now, you already know the story about Katarina Klaus, a woman from Earth reborn into an Otome game and determined to avoid her villainous end. Although she's living in a game world full of male love interests, she's also developed rich relationships with the women around her, and that's exactly what this anthology is about. Enjoy these original love stories about Katarina and her lovely ladies, setting the boys aside to explore deeper relationships with each other. Special gift to the fans of the series who dreamed of more love between the women. So if you are a fan of Bacarina, you're going to love this. And following Bacarina, we have Yoichi Abe's Sheeply Horned Witch Romi, or Yokoku no Maho Romi. The world has changed. Everyone has fallen into a deep slumber except the sheep, plus a sheep-horned witch and her senpai, and now monsters are closing in. Why are the only people still awake two teenagers in love with each other? Find out in this beautifully illustrated, unique, dark fantasy. Could be kind of cool in a fantasy world. Again, gonna have to wait and see. I think we're near the end. We have a couple left. We have Ryoto Yapin and Sasuyuki Survival in Another World with My Mistress, or Gosujin-sama to Yuki Isekai Survival, the light novel and manga series. Kosuke suddenly wakes up alone in a vast forest that clearly isn't anywhere on Earth. Now he has to find some way to eat, drink, and survive. Luckily, Kosuke also has the power to craft using a special video game menu that allows him to harvest resources and build whatever he can imagine. However, every time he goes to sleep, he's attacked by one of the many non-human races of this world, all of whom despise humankind. Enter Selphie, the beautiful dark elf who lays claim to Kosuke and vows to protect him. After all, she's taken him as her property. Very S&M-y light novel series that is going to be a weird romance. Could be good, or could be trash. We're going to have to wait and see. Second to last, we have Ryosuke Nanasaki's Until I Meet My Husband, or Bokuga Oto ni Daomade, which is an essay novel, and it's a manga series. From school crushes to awkward dating sites for finding a community, this collection of stories recounts the author's firsts as a young gay man searching for love. Dating isn't ever easy, but that goes doubly so for Ryosuke, whose journey is full of unrequited love and many speed bumps. But perseverance and time heal all wounds, even those of the heart. This moving memoir of gay activist Ryosuke Nanasaki follows his historic life story and was originally released in Japan in a novel of collected essays and a beautiful manga adaptation, which are now both available in English, which is kind of cool. And then finally, last and not least, we have Maho, also known as Witches the Complete Collection, an omnibus volume that tells a unique story. And on a visit to the capital of a small country in the far west of Asia, a British girl named Nicola falls in love. The object of her affection is Mimar, a young man who works at a bazaar, yet despite her attempts, he doesn't notice her. Back at home in England, the ache of her unrequited love festers. After years spent obtaining wealth, fame, and the secret of the world, she returns to the bazaar to exact her revenge upon Mimar and those he holds dearest. This story is just one of many in this dramatic collection, which features tales of witchcraft across the globe and even in the far reaches of outer space. Originally published as 2 volumes in Japan and winner of an excellent prize at the 2004 Japan Media Arts Festival, now you can own the entire series in English for the first time in a beautiful omnibus release. And those are all the titles for SSE, 7 Seas Entertainment. And let's go to the final one, which is going to be Yen Press. And Yen Press has some good ones. They have Ichime Tsukushi and Enji's Dragon and Ceremony, which is to fulfill his master's last request, half-human wand craftsman Ix must repair a staff belonging to a girl named Yui. There's just one problem. In order to mend the core staff, Ix must obtain the heart of a dragon, the last of which supposedly died out 1,000 years ago. Running up against a strict time limit before his contract expires, Ix must somehow find a long-lost dragon and repair the wand, all by summer's end. That seems like a really good fantasy series, and I hope that one is enjoyable, but we'll see. Next we have Akumi Agitogi and Toshiko Toshioko's My Happy Marriage. Born to a noble family, Mio is raised by her abusive stepmother and married off to Kyoka, a soldier so heartless prior fiancés fled within 3 days of their engagement. With no home to return to, Mio slowly opens her heart to her cold and pale husband-to-be despite their rocky introduction. This might just be her chance at finding true love and happiness. And those are the light novel releases from Yen Press. Now let's get to some of the manga releases. We have Takimachi, Kaname-su, and Tamari Spy Classroom. The golden age of the military has passed, and a war is now carried out by spies. Klaus, an agent with a perfect record but a difficult personality, has formed a special team to carry out an impossible mission with a 90% failure rate. Problem is, the ones he's chosen are a bunch of pretty girls with no experience. Should be a funny laugh. We'll see. Then we have Adolero's Toilet Bound Hanako-kun Volume 0, the manga. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun takes on the theme of the school ghost story of Hanako-san. All 3 chapters of this version of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, which is 3 chapters, is the original short-term serialization which was shown in monthly magazine G Fantasy, available in 1 book. In addition, the rare debut series from Adolaro, The Lovely Living Dead, is going to be included in this collection as well. So this is going to be a cool one-shot that is definitely worth it if you are a fan of Toilet-Bound Hanako-kun, so check it out. And finally, from Yen Press, we have an art book that they're releasing, which is Pixiv Inc.'s Visions 2021 Illustrators Book Art Book. And these are the visions of 170 frontline illustrators that have been compiled by Pixiv. It's going to feature the newest and best work of illustrators making a splash in the industry today. If you're an art fan, this is totally going to be worth checking out. And those are the manga releases for the week. And now, just to compile it easier, let's talk about when they're coming out. So we have My Darling Next Door, Saving Sweets for After Hours, In the Clear Moonlight, Fate Grand Order, That's My Typical Girl, and Onamai, going to be released by Kodansha Comics digitally over consecutive Tuesdays in July 2021. All the Yen Press titles are going to be released digitally and physically in December 2021. 5 Seconds Before a Witch Falls in Love, Hello Melancholy, Classroom of the Elite, I'm a Wolf, will be released by SSE in print and digitally February 2022. 2x5 Dimensional Seduction is going to be released by SSE's Ghost Ship in print February 2022. The Haunted Bookstore and The Girl in the Arcade, which is the complete collection, Shapely Horned Witch Romy. All those are going to be released by SSE in print and digitally in March 2022. Survival in Another World with My Mistress and The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen light novels are going to be released by SSE's Airship imprint in March 2022. Gunbird Sisters is going to be released by Ghost Ship imprint in March 2022. My Next Life as a Villainess side story is going to be released by SSE in May 2022. Survival in Another World with My Mistress manga is going to be released by SSE's Ghost Ship imprint May 2022. Until My Husband, The Muscle Girl Next Door is going to be released by SSE in June 2022. So those are all of our released information. And then finally, let's get to the last bit of our general updates. In fall of 2021, Funimation and JC Staff's original anime film co-production Sing a Bit of Harmony, also known as Ai no Utogon o Hikasete, or translated literally as Let Me Hear You Sing of Love, is inspiring a manga adaptation that's going to be debuting in Kodansha's Afternoon magazine. Megumu Maeda is drawing the story, and the story is described as the tale of a new transfer student interested in her surroundings and a song that brings happiness to her and her classmates. So, I've heard the anime is good. We're going to have to see how the manga adaptation is going to be. On July 26th, Sao Nito and Takayoshi Kurado are launching a new manga titled Buto no Fukushu, or The Pig's Revenge, in Tokuma Shoten's monthly comic Zeon magazine. The magazine teases the manga with the tagline of one boy bullied by his classmates takes his most gruesome revenge in another world. Also contains the tagline, You treated me like a pig. I'll kill every demonic classmate who ever bullied me. Now, Kurudo's drawing the manga and Nito is writing it. On July 21st, Yoshitake Ushiki will launch a new manga titled Ozaku no Jin, or Jin the Tailwind. Now, it's going to be released in Hoensha's Manga Time Kirari Forward magazine, and the manga is going to center on a journey of a young boy who works for a delivery company and a straightforward and energetic young woman. Not too much is known about that, but the art looks excellent, and I think it's going to be one which is going to be a winner, but we're going to have to wait and see. On June 24th, Takayuki Mizushine will launch a new manga titled Kiri Moya Biori Clear Skies for Kiri and Moya, and this is going to be released in Kodansha's Evening magazine. Now, the manga is going to center on a picture book illustrator named Hiyori and her pet dog and cat Moya and Kiri. Now, if you're a pet fan, this might be just up your alley. And our final bit of news, on June 22nd, which was a week ago, One Piece Books released an audiobook for Aneko Usagi's The Rising of the Shield Hero. Yes, that's right. Tati no Yusha no Nigarashi, the light novel series, has an audiobook. It's narrated by Kurt Kanazawa, and it's available on audiobooks, and it's going to be available for services as Amazon, Apple Books, Audible, Audiobooks, and Spotify. So, if you're a fan of the story of Naofumi Iwatani, the otaku who was sent to another world and treated like garbage, get it now. I'm excited to see how it goes and listen to see if the interpretation is going to be as good as I imagine it. So that is the news of the day. Do you think I covered everything? Is there anything I missed? If there was, you can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan, at Spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken with any news I missed or whatever news you are interested in. Now, my random question of the day is going to be, what title are you most interested in checking out? There are several of them, and I'm going to have to wait and see what occurs. But I'm babbling, so let us finish this off with, as usual, I am your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep listening to Manga News. I'll see you guys later.